Hey everybody, welcome back to Story Dude channel. My name is Francis and I'm going to be guiding you through some extra special stories today. So without further ado, let's dive right in and see what the internet has prepared for us today. Am I the a-hole for deceiving my wife into joining me for my drive to work? The key word here is deceiving. It's usually not a good sign. I and my wife live in a suburban area. I commute to work in a nearby city every day, and she stays at home. We have no children. We commute is generally about 2 hours. Me commute. Gosh darn. I can shorten this day by 10 to 20 minutes with some good timing and luck, but for the most part, it's a long commute. Now, what has often been a source of friction in my marriage is that 9 times out of 10, the moment I step in the door, my wife asks me to do something. She always has some miscellaneous chore that absolutely cannot wait, that she's been preparing for you. uh, she wants me to take out the trash, make dinner, wash some dishes, or whatever else. I've told her time and time again that I need a bit of time to unwind from work, and then I'll happily do it. Last Thursday, after I asked her for time to relax, she said that I had 2 hours to relax after work. She insisted my commute home was plenty of time to listen to music and unwind. When I explained that driving in traffic was probably more nerve-wracking than work, she said I was just sitting on my butt. This Monday, I woke her up with me and said that I had a special surprise for her. She assumed I had taken the day off and we were going somewhere special. She got dressed and we got in my car. I got to the freeway where I told her that we were going to spend the next 2 hours sitting in traffic together, seeing as she considers that leisure. She immediately got upset at me for lying to her. We argued for about 20 minutes until she stopped responding, and then she started watching Netflix on her phone. Then she asked me to drop her off somewhere so she could Uber home. I did not. We got to my office building and she immediately jumped out of the car to find something to do. I went to work as usual, but after I finished, she was nowhere to be seen and not answering texts. Finally, I called her and she picked up the phone to tell me she had taken an Uber home in the afternoon, then hanging up on me. Since I did this, she hasn't said more than a word or two to me at a time. She seems to be really upset. Did I take this too far? Yeah. ESH. You kidnapped her and left her 2 hours from home? That's horrific. But yeah, you need some time to unwind after work, and that is 100% reasonable. You shouldn't have done it like this, but you absolutely needed to make the point. Also, she can take out the trash. You're gone 12 or 13 damned hours. Edit. She's unemployed, no kids. Why isn't she making dinner or doing the dishes? ESH. You didn't just deceive her, and it was not just a drive to work. Essentially, you would have left her stranded without her knowing 2 hours from home. For what exactly? Because your plan clearly backfired spectacularly. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Like, I want to know, how much thought did you put into your plan before executing it? Did you just, those ideas that pop into your head right when you wake up, those are not the good ideas. You shouldn't run with those ideas. Like, when I woke up and decided I would start hosting a YouTube channel, probably should not have done that, but. So make sure you think things through before you act. Your wife also is in the wrong for not seeing what you work the whole day. You spend 4 hours commuting. She's at home all day. If she is a stay-at-home wife, then isn't her job literally to look after your home? Not saying she should do everything, but welcoming you home with a to-do list doesn't sound great either. This is making me a little uncomfortable with these gender roles here. Yeah, I don't know. Should we even be using the word stay-at-home wife? I don't know. You need to learn to communicate and to listen to each other and actually hear what the other one is saying. Maybe it's time to reconsider this insane commuting arrangement. It's a good point, but didn't he say if like there's no traffic, it takes 10 to 20 minutes? Hmm. Maybe just leave earlier. You're the asshole. I think it's a lesson your wife needed to learn, but boy howdy, you went about it in all the wrong ways. Not the least of which being that when she asked you to drop her off somewhere so she could Uber home, you refused to let her out. Wife or not, that's essentially kidnapping. Dramatic, I know, but technically true. Hmm. Not rating it ESH because the question was about OP's actions, not those of the wife. So, who, yeah, is wrong in jumping down his throat the minute he walks in. Yeah, but also, it's probably not how it goes down, you know? ESH, what a horrible life you all have. Yeah, that's a little harsh, but I don't know. When reading these things, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that, his wife is clearly not, acting that way all the time. And I think they're happy. There must be some reason why they got married in the first place, right? Right? ESH. So almost every day you arrive, there is an urgent chore needed to be done, yet you wrote that your wife stays at home. So does she work from home, or what is she doing all day that she can't do the chores herself? Again, a lot of speculation. We don't know how much we should take of the OP's post at face value, especially when it comes to relationships. Your perceptions of how much the other person is contributing, it's highly subjective, and I think we should focus on OP's actions, which we all agree were ridiculous. You've got the act of deception leading to a loss of freedom of movement on his wife's part, which, as one of our commentators mentioned, is technically kidnapping. And for whatever reason, that's the real issue here. Even so, what did you expect when you basically lied to her and more so refused to let her leave the car? Did you think she was going to wait in the car till you were done with your work after that? And maybe just bring her into work, have her help you, you know? I don't know what kind of job you have, but that could be cool. I'd love to have my wife at work. Fun times. What even made you think she was the best way to solve this? You really should have a talk about what you expect from each other in this relationship. Taking out trash should be fine, but having to do dinner right away is excessive. I hope it's not like a 2 hour walk from your front door to the trash bins. All right, let's move on to the next story here. Am I the a-hole for airing out my bio dad's dirty laundry in front of his friends? What is a bio dad? Like, as opposed to your step. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Anyway, pardon my ignorance. Let's get right into the story here. So, I am not close with Nathan, aka my biological father. I don't have very many memories of him in my life when I was younger, and the ones I do have aren't great. I'm sorry to hear that. He had some substance he had some substance issues, and he wasn't always kind to my mother, so the distance was really for my well-being. He cleaned his act up, got married, and had 3 kids. I don't know the kids, but I've spoken to his wife once or twice. I know social media doesn't tell all, but from what I've seen, he seems like a great dad and a good husband. I'm genuinely happy for him and his family. Nathan contacted me about 7 years ago, and my mom died. And I just want to interrupt this, and just to let you know, full disclosure, it just popped into my head that this is not going to be about her actually physically putting the dirty laundry out. I was such an idiot. Yeah. Anyway, this is going to be about talking shit about her father. Yeah. Okay. Let's see where Nathan contacted me about 7 years ago after my mom died. It was just to offer his condolences and ask me if I needed anything. I rejected his offer to help me with burying her or anything like that, and I ended up going to school abroad on a scholarship, so I didn't ask him for any financial help later on either. We had some contact, but not much. Mostly he'd say happy birthday, happy holidays, and I'd say thanks, but there were occasional conversations. I had a baby in April of last year, and my husband and I finally got around to flying back to the country that I'm from in order to show our daughter where I grew up. I know she won't remember this trip, but it's important to me that she meet my mom, even if it's just her headstone. One of my mom's old friends ended up telling Nathan that I was in town, and Nathan ended up calling me and inviting me to eat at a local restaurant. My husband encouraged me to go, so I did. When I got there, it was awkward at first and we made some small talk for a minute, but then a few of his friends ended up walking in and coming up to us. They started saying how much my dad bragged about me and his siblings, and how they've been dying to meet his kid who moved to another country for school, etc. One of them said how nice it was that my dad was finally going to be able to meet his granddaughter, and Nathan said how excited he was to do all the things with her that he used to do with me. I must have made a face because Nathan asked what was wrong, and I said that I don't remember any of the things we used to do together because we only started talking again when I was 19 after my mom died. And before then, he was either intoxicated or never around. He said that I was making him sound like a bad dad, and I said, "You seem like a good one to your kids, but you weren't my dad at all." Oof. I left after that, and he ended up texting me later saying how crappy it was of me to just throw his past mistakes out there, especially in front of his friends, and they could have picked up another time to air out our history. I haven't responded to his texts. Oh man, oh man. One thing that is always trying to play devil's advocate here is that memory is a tricky thing, and especially when you're a kid. Growing up with your mom, who probably resented your father, possibly rightfully so, but I'm going to say that any positive memories of your father that you could have had when you were very young could possibly have been erased for you, and your perceptions of your father could be primarily colored by what your mother told you of your upbringing. So it is definitely possible that, your father had some moments of lucidity where he did play with you and you had some good times, despite the fact that he was generally a bad father. So with that in mind, let's check out these comments and see what the community thinks. Not the asshole. You have an estranged relationship. I don't know what he expected to happen here. Well, I mean, he certainly didn't expect his friends to come. I mean, it seems like this is kind of an unlucky situation for everyone involved. The friends coming put you in a really awkward situation. But it was an awkward situation for your father, too, and it didn't sound like he planned for his friends to come find him in the restaurant. Not the asshole. He brought up your shared past in front of his buddies and is pissed that you told the truth instead of catering to his new image. Again, a lot of assumptions. I don't know why I'm defending this guy so much. He's probably like the worst father ever. But I don't know, maybe because I'm a dad and I tend to party a little bit. I want to try to believe that everything's okay, Not the a-hole. He shouldn't have lied in front of you and his friends on how he was a father to you. He wasn't in your life and didn't do the things he was claiming. Why should you go along with his lies? Maybe I misunderstood this whole thing. I don't know. Not the a-hole. He could have been honest with his friends from the beginning to avoid this. Not the a-hole. Did he really think that wasn't going to surface the first time you got face to face? He hasn't gotten any smarter, if so. Whew. All right. Well, I'm apparently an idiot, and this has been a great episode of Story Dude. And, looking forward to the next episode. And until then, I hope all of you have a great day. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.